Hello everyone and welcome to Viscera Cleanup Detail. It's one of those two. Welcome. It has been Christmas. It's all over and Santa has killed all the elves. Welcome to the Christmas workshop level in Viscera Cleanup. This is a very special episode in which I attempt to do 100% clean completely solo. Now, I'm going to tell you straight away, I'm going to ruin all suspense. I do it! Yay, I complete it. 100%. Woo! The reason I'm going to kind of do that now, right at the beginning, and ruin all the suspense, is because there's a few things I wasn't really sure about. I didn't know what I could and couldn't do 100%. So I tried to have a little look online, and there was some websites that gave me very contradicting answers. So I thought, as I have definitely got 100% on this, I can actually use this as somewhat of a tutorial. And that might make it easier for other people that want to give this a go, want to get 100% as well. So, for anyone who does want to do this and has never played this game before, or has but not for a long while, or just want to know kind of reminders of what you need to do, the game is tidying up. So you have to clean up the blood using the mop. When the mop gets dirty, you have to clean it with buckets that come from the dispenser. Everything that's rubbish has to be burned in the furnace. Now, there is no furnace in this level, but as you've seen, there is a big fireplace. Only the fireplace gets dirty, which the furnace doesn't happen. Well, not on the inside anyway. So you have to take everything that is rubbish, things like the body parts and the bullet shell casings, and they need to go straight into the furnace. Now, you'll find other things like these sticks of dynamite. They need to go into the buckets of water with the wick facing down. If you knock that bucket and you drop the water out of it as it goes into the furnace, they will explode. If you put them wick side up, but still in the bucket of water, they will explode. If the dynamite explodes in the furnace, then just kiss the end goodbye. It's not going to happen. It's just not. I mean, I don't think it's impossible necessarily, but you give yourself so much more work to do that it's just too much of a hassle. Now, there is also another possibility that when you try to get a bucket of water out of the dispenser, it will give you a lit dynamite. Now, obviously, that's a problem. So, that's why I always leave a bucket. You don't want to do that, though. That's a problem. But that's why what you want to do is you want to try and leave a bucket by the dispenser, so that if a lit dynamite comes out, you can try and dunk it in the water before it explodes. It's doable, but incredibly hard. If you want the easy way out, then one of the things you can do is you just save the game every time before you get yourself a bucket. If you do that, and you do get a lit dynamite, then you can always just reload it and re-dispense and carry on. So that's the best way to do it. The other thing you have to do, as you've just seen me do, is take the USBs to the computer in this hallway. That is important because you have to make sure that everyone gets noted who was killed. Now, what I did there was lucky that nothing came out of there, because you can get yourself stuck in a loop if you're not careful. What you really want to do is dispense the new bucket before you burn the old one, in case the dynamite comes out. But you also want to make sure that you have a clean mop before you run out. That sounds a little bit strange, but you'll see why in a minute. It does cause me a problem. You also want to be careful for the baubles on the ceilings and the walls, because the one thing you are not allowed to do if you want to get 100% is burn any festive stuff. But the baubles don't necessarily count. However, if you touch a bauble, it will fall to the floor and it will cause coloured markings on the floor, which then have to be cleaned up. And the problem that you can have is if they're a bright colour, you may not notice that there's been a mark on the floor. So you could leave thinking you've done it all when in fact you haven't. There's a little blob on the floor. That can also cause problems with another item, which we'll get to in a minute. But as you can see here, I really messed that up. So yeah, I had to recorrect myself there a little bit. As you can see, we're getting done with this corridor now. I only ever take the big parts like this. This is a whole body, so I'll take that straight to the furnace. Whereas the little bits, I'll try and put as many in a basket as I can, because then you're not traipsing backwards and forwards to the furnace all the time. You're only going every now and then. Just makes it easier. Now, the basket dispenser will not give you lit dynamite, but will and can still give you body parts, which just cause a mess. It's always a hassle. So you can see I'm now moving into the main area here. Just picking up some of the shell casings and bodies. Now, one thing if you want to get 100% that you cannot do is, as I said earlier on, burn any Christmas items. Now those, some of them are obvious. You're looking at the presents, you're looking at the toys. However, some of them are not obvious, and you have to just make sure that you don't get rid of, don't burn any of the toy weapons. So there are some blades, there are some guns. If they're toys, you cannot get rid of them. Now, most of the guns are just toys. However, there are knives that make a noise if you pick them up, and those are the ones you have to dispose of. I'll point them out when I get to them. Now, this is, I think, where I'm going to have myself a problem. Because I decided not to go up there just yet. I'm just going to make sure this whole room is clean first. There's an elf up there, which is in parts, so it's going to cause problems when I grab it. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to get it down, and you can't pick up both pieces at once, so you're going to cause a mess. See, that's gone. And then you see there's a mess on this table as well, so I do have to clear all the presents away. So just don't put them near the fire. It's the easiest way to do it. I like to stack the boxes in this corner once it's clean, because then they're out of the way and you're not going to walk into them either. And then yeah, just clear off the whole table, make sure that you clean it all thoroughly. Right, now this bucket is dead. I can't use it. And the first thing it dispenses is a foot, which makes the dispenser messy, which now just keeps dispensing body parts. If I can't clean that dispenser off, it may never give me a bucket again, as you can see. I then remember there is a bucket over here, so it gives me the chance to clear the dispenser, get a fresh bucket, and then get rid of this one. So you have to be careful of that. That's it can cause you a bit of a loop that's difficult to get out of. But you see that gun there is a toy, so you don't have to burn it. In fact, you do not burn it. Very specifically, do not. I then put everything back on the table, just so that it's all off the floor. That's not a necessity, but I do it anyway. Now, up there, as you can see, I had to clear the banister, and there was a mess on the other side of the banister when I go up there. Now that's where you have to be a little bit careful, because if you hit the banister in the right part with your mop, the baubles will fall off and land on where I'm standing, and that's when you may not notice. So you have to listen out for it, because you'll hear a little pop if you knock one down. And like I said, if you do knock a bauble off, it's not that big of a deal, because I do in this. It won't be until the second part of it now, but I do knock a bauble off and I just clean it up, and I still get 100%. So you can knock the baubles. It's not that big of a deal. As long as you know that they need to be cleaned, that's fine. These stalls, oh, I hate them. They're just constantly in my way. Really annoying. And I think you're about to see the first knife now. There it is. And obviously it's going a bit fast, but if you heard the noise, it's like a ching ching noise. Like metal rubbing against wood or other metal. And then you saw me put the dynamite down next to the dispenser. That can be even more dangerous, because if dynamite comes out of the dispenser lit and I can't douse it in time, the explosion will explode that one as well. So there will be 2 sets of explosions. There you go, clear all that off. You see all these guns, they're all fine because they're all toys. As far as I'm aware, there is only one gun that needs to be destroyed. The rest of them are toys, so you can't destroy them, otherwise you will not get 100%. You see, now I'm going to clear the area off because I need to clean that soot now. That's not swinging, it's a bit weird. Move it out of the way and it goes back to normal. I don't know. I also find, and this could just be a me thing, but it feels like the soot dirties the mop up quicker than the blood does. It gets a lot dirtier a lot quicker. But so I'm not going to go into this area just yet. I just want to clear the doorway. I basically, by the end of this video, I'm going to have this one room that I'm standing in completely done as far as I was aware, together with the upstairs as well. There you go, that's the doorway all clear. And then this is a good way of doing it. I basically wait until I need to get rid of the bucket. And then I put the TNT in it and dispose of it. Now you have to be really careful, like I said before, when you drop that on, so you can see me doing that slowly. There's one left up there, and there's some in the corner there. And there's some eggnog there that you can see on the corner. You've got to get rid of the eggnog as well. Now, it won't happen in this video, it will be in the next video. But I'll talk about the bottles in more detail, essentially because they can cause you a problem, depending on how you want to dispose of them. Now, if you just pick up a whole bottle and throw it away, fine. But if you're not careful, you could break the bottle, and that causes more problems, more messes, and more things for you to find. So that can be a problem. But like I said, I'll talk about that when I actually come across a problem myself in the next video. Just cleaning out the corner here. I find with the USBs, you tend to find one USB everywhere there is a dismembered corpse, pretty much. So it's one of those where if you've cleaned up a pile of body, like a pile of pieces of one body, yet you haven't had a USB, then there's a chance that it's still there somewhere. So you see, in this instance, I just pick them up and put them in the basket, and haven't caused myself any problems, so it doesn't really matter that much. The body's a bit too big to put in the basket, so that gets burned on its own. And now you see, look, that basket was on a tilt when I put it down. For some reason, the floor of that fire is not level. and that can cause you problems. So this is the last piece downstairs that I need to clear up, and then I'm going to move upstairs. Upstairs has its own issues, specifically because I don't like moving around with lots of pieces in the actual baskets because they glitch out quite badly. So you don't really want to do that. There you go, body parts, and I'll just get a basket and push them all out of the way. So you know, there are several ways that you can tackle the upstairs. My way of doing it is a little bit more rigid, but I feel like it's one of the better ways to actually do it. However, there is a way you could do it if you want to be quicker about it. So basically, I place the basket at the bottom of the stairs, and then I bring stuff downstairs to the bottom step and put them in the basket, or just straight in the furnace if they're bigger pieces. I feel like the actual torsos themselves are too big. The arms and legs are fine if you can get them in there, but sometimes they can be a bit low on the screen, so they're difficult to really see. So in that instance, it's you know, it's difficult. Plus, these are just on the steps, so actually clearing them up, it's not too difficult. There's the knife. The knives seem to cause me the most problems when I put them in the baskets, so I like to try and put the knives directly into the furnace whenever I can. And you see that there are baubles on the wall next to me here, so you want to be a bit careful there, because if you hit them, they will make messes on the steps and on the walls. And here you go. You see, I have to clean that up. But if I hit the wrong spot, the wrong part, it will push one of the baubles away. So now you just systematically work through this as well. Now, like I said before, I quite enjoy this. I love kind of having a plan and kind of slowly progressing my way through, because I think it looks great once it's actually clean. There's a very good sense of accomplishment at that point. And I think this is a good thing to do with friends. It's a good team building thing to do with friends, really, because your team can always be just, you know, trying to work out who does what. One person take one job, so only one person clean, like, mops, and only one person picks up stuff to burn, and only one person goes around collecting the USBs. You know what I mean? You can kind of make it that kind of thing. So you see, I move that, and I get myself another elf. Very gentle and very careful, because obviously if I touch the walls or the stairs, as you will see, you can put messes on them. So you've got to be a little bit more careful. There is another way you can do this, and the option to do this would be you pick up all the body parts and you put them over the banister so that they just fall to the floor, because then you've got a bigger mess to clean downstairs. You see, there you go, I touched the steps there, so I had to clean up the steps. But yeah, if you drop them over the banister on down into the main hall, it will give you a bit more of a mess to clean up downstairs, but it's much quicker because you're not having to take your time to make sure that you don't touch the ceiling or that you don't touch the walls or the floors. You can just drop them straight over and then go downstairs, pick them all up. You're next to the furnace at that point. There'll be a little pile of body parts right next to the furnace. You see, now that was dangerous because I couldn't have cleaned my mop at that point. You see, it fell over there as well. So if there was any TNT in that, it would have just blown up. And then I kicked that one just for the fun of it. And there we go, we're getting there. Not a whole lot left by the look of it, but there is. Still. Because yes, those wooden panels need to be moved. Now it's interesting that Santa chose to hide a bunch of elves under those panels. Not fully sure what that's about. You see, look, you've got some letters to Santa, which are very nice. Their kids asking for different things. That kid wants some chocolate. Always nice. Now you see that that bladed weapon. That's not real. These are all just toys, so you don't have to. You do not burn them. And the same with the wood. Technically, the wood is it's part of it. You can't burn the wood. Well, I don't, and I get 100%. So I would advise that you don't as well. But you have to be a little bit careful because you see there, I stood on the elf apparently, whether I realised I did or not. So you don't want to get too close to this hole. But there are 4 in here, I think, 3 or 4 in total. So you just have to work through it. And there you go, we get in there. Now obviously there are some surprises, some things that I wasn't expecting that I would have to clean up. But that's going to be a surprise for the next episode. If you're trying to get 100% and you're not 100 and you're not fully sure what it is that needs to be got, then obviously in the next episode you'll see it completed. So I will go through absolutely everything and where I went wrong. It wasn't necessarily something I did wrong, it was just something I hadn't thought of. But yeah, so you basically do what you need. Get it all sorted. Nearly done here now. And you see I've got some on the banister there as well. And then once you get rid of all the body parts, you can clean up properly. Get rid of all the blood. Get rid of that. Be careful not to get rid of the bauble. And there you go. This part is concluded. So this is now fully complete. This, as far as I was aware, I'm letting on to a little bit of a secret. There's something I've missed. But as far as I was aware, at this point, I have cleaned everywhere. There is no more blood. There's no more soot. There's no more body parts. There's no more rubbish. So I try to use the sniffer and I don't fully get it at this point. But I do fully understand it now. So at the end of the next episode, I will talk you through exactly what the sniffer does and how to use it properly. But yeah, so that is it for now. It looks 100% clean. It isn't. There is still stuff I haven't done yet. But I won't find that out until the very, very end of the next video. So, you know, keep an eye out for that. I hope you guys have a fantastic holiday. Have a Merry Christmas. Whatever it is you're up to. I hope you have a great one. Please check out some more of my videos. Keep an eye out for the second part of this video. Have a great time, and I'll see you next time.